Hello everyone! Welcome to Messy Heart, where we dive deep into troubling accounts and messy relationships, hoping to provide support and advice to those who might seek it. Let's head into our first story. Listen carefully and give us your thoughts on the comments section. Story 1. My ex and I broke up and now her sister and me have a weird relationship. So I, 26M, dated a girl, 26F, for around 4 years. She has 2 sisters, one older, 27F, and one younger, 23F. Throughout the years, I built a good relationship with her sisters as well. When we officially ended it, something she'd been doing came to light and it hurt me. I was too embarrassed to tell my family, so I turned to her older sister about it, since she knew the entire situation already minus the recent development. She consoled me and said she'd check on me here and there. I was expecting her to shoot me a text maybe once a week or something, but she messaged me every single day. She's engaged to my ex-girlfriend's ex-best friend, works part-time, and is in school. I told her she seemed like she was juggling a lot and that she didn't have to check on me daily and that we could just chat on her off days. She said, "Trust me, I know I don't have to keep checking in on you. It's nice to catch up and actually hold a conversation with someone other than fiancé's name." I found it strange since she already had her gay best friend of many years who she talked to every day, but I shrugged it off. We'd meet for lunch sometimes, and now, on a Saturday where she and I are both free, I'll come over to her home and we'll spend the entire day together. We'll go to the store if needed, chill and talk, order food, watch a movie, do a puzzle together. She loves puzzles and her fiancé won't do them with her. We created our own little movie list, too. She still lives at home while in school though, so we're not completely alone and leave the room door open. Both my ex and the younger sister live there, but my ex is rarely home. It's been over a year since the night I reached out to the older sister, and we haven't gone a single day without talking to each other. We have a little routine now where we tell each other good night and sweet dreams every night. Anyone I mention this dynamic to says they find it weird, and honestly, I get it. I've never had a female friend that I talk to every day and say good night and sweet dreams nightly to and hang out all day with them. I also find it hard to rationalize why she'd want this dynamic considering she's engaged and I'm her sister's ex, though they're not close. I've had female friends, and once they got into a relationship, we barely talked and never hung out. She confides in me about her relationship and tells me things no one else knows. They aren't exactly on the best of terms lately. He broke her trust a while ago by doing something, saying he would stop, and then doing it again. Now, she doesn't trust him fully, and it's the reason they've been engaged for 2 years and still haven't picked a date. She says every time they're in a good place, he does something to make her doubt him. She also says she has to initiate most things and suggests they do things, and that sometimes she'll drive an hour to see him after having driven an hour to school and then work, and then he'll just play video games while she does her own thing instead of spending time with her. She says he's doing better and trying, but she doesn't know HIW many more times she can say, "It's fine, just do better." I notice the things she says he doesn't do are things that I do. Maybe that's why she's drawn to our bond? She told me a while ago that one more strike and she's done. Admittedly, our relationship is strange, and there are little things that make me think she sees me a little differently than just platonic or familial, even if she may not be cognizant. We talk every day, often initiated by her, our night routine. Sometimes she comes to me about things, and in my head I'm like, shouldn't you go to your fiancé about this? To add to that, she comes to me about literally everything. Each day I know how school went, how work went, how her day went, if she's happy or stressed about something. Isn't that her fiancé's role? One day she sent me a message saying, "Random, but me and younger sister were talking about how rare it is to find a good-looking dark-skinned guy, and we both agreed you fit the description." I wondered if it was just random or if she was hinting that she finds me attractive. Another day, I told her about these women that wouldn't leave me alone at work after they found out I was in the military. She didn't respond to me for 5 hours, which she never does unless she's at work, and then said, "Sorry for the late reply. I got food with my friends A and K at 10 o'clock and just got back." I messaged her at like 8 o'clock, so she saw it and didn't respond, and also never mentions names of people she hangs with, but this time made sure to mention that she was with 2 guys. I felt like she was trying to make me jealous, which it did. I put their names with a question mark and she said, "My old coworkers from Home Depot. Super nerdy guys that play Pokemon." Felt like she knew I got jealous, so she said that. There was no need to say they were nerdy. She sent me a video of her in the dressing room wearing a dress and bought it because I said I liked it, when she could have asked her fiancé if he liked it or one of her girlfriends or her gay best friend. Also, the last time we hung out, I was going on for a while, talking about my ambitions and the career opportunities coming my way soon, and I swear it's like she was staring into my soul. I notice she does that from time to time. What do you all think of this dynamic between us? Am I crazy, or is it not normal and beyond the scope of a typical platonic or familial relationship? I use the term familial because she used to call me brother when her sister and I were together. Do any of you women have guy friends in which you behave this way with ESP while in a relationship? I'm conflicted as well because while it started out innocent, I was just reaching out in need of consoling after how much she was there for me, how much I've been there for her, how close we've gotten, and hearing how much she does for her fiancé, I've grown fond of her. I've done my best to remain objective as she comes to me about her relationship issues. Despite my feelings, I remain objective and advocate for them. I'd never try to break them up or plant seeds in her head to break up with him. I don't need that bad karma. If she leaves him, I want it to be of her own volition. I was honest with her though and told her that these problems will likely never go away. Trust is very hard to repair once broken, and she'll likely always find herself doubting him, since she's discovered how easily he can lie to her. I said it may become exhausting for both of them because you'll always question him, and he'll get tired of being questioned and having to convince you he's telling the truth. I was cheated on before. She wasn't cheated on, just lied to, in a high school relationship, and tried to give them a second chance but broke it off days later because I was always questioning them and didn't want to live like that. She understood the analogy. He's also going to switch from the Army Reserves to active duty, so they'll be in different countries because she wants to stay and finish school. I told her trust is absolutely paramount for long distance to work. I will add that her relationship before this was one where she was abused physically for years. We all tried hard to get her to leave, and it took a while, but she finally did. I feel like that part of her that stayed in an abusive relationship is what's kept her in this one where she isn't happy. Obviously, she's my ex's sister and is engaged, so telling her how I feel doesn't seem like a good idea. Even if she felt the same, she's engaged and my history with her sister complicates things, and I said I wouldn't do anything to influence her to leave him. I don't know what to do. I seem to have filled this consistent and supportive role in her life, but I've come to want more, which can't happen. I've grown tired of hearing about her fiancé's mishaps when I know I wouldn't put her through that, but I'm someone she trusts and leans on, so if I suddenly stop, she'll wonder why. She doesn't mention problems with him often, but I'm finding it harder to remain objective and keep advocating because I don't think she should stay with him, but I can't say that because of the feelings I've developed. It's a conflict of interest. What are you all's thoughts on this situation and the dynamic? What advice do you have for me? What piece of advice would you give to OP? Let us know down in the comments, and let's move on to our next story. Story 2. My boyfriend exchanged contact with a girl on the plane. 3 months ago, my boyfriend went on an airplane flight that was 14 hours long. On the plane, assigned seating, a girl ended up sitting next to him. This girl talked to him, and they ended up discovering they both had mutual friends from his hometown. On the long flight, they conversed and talked and exchanged phone numbers when he airdropped her a video he took of the airplane she asked for. Apparently, she also fell asleep on his shoulder while he was unconscious, so when he woke up finding she was on his shoulder, he tells me he was startled and moved away from her. They continued to talk on the flight, and this didn't deter him from becoming her friend. They ended up talking about personal lives, and he did tell her about me and that I am someone whom he deeply cares about and loves to be with, so she knew my existence. After the flight, he messaged her saying, "I didn't get to say goodbye, have a fun trip." After this message, they continued conversing. He asked her to send photos of her trip as it is somewhere he always wanted to travel, so he thought it would be cool to see. They also ended up following each other on social media. They conversed back and forth for about 2 days before I asked to see the conversation and was uncomfortable. He stopped talking to her upon me bringing up my discomfort, apologized, reassured, and we have discussed boundaries since then. I bring it up whenever I get triggered, and he is always reassured and never invalidated. But why is it that I still feel triggered when I think about the event 3 months later? This is really getting to me, and I'm starting to wonder if I'm self-sabotaging. It's mainly when I remember events like, why didn't he recognize that when she fell asleep on his shoulder to set some boundaries? Was it valid to continue being friends after? Why did he continue to talk to her so naively, asking for photos and videos of her trip? Is that something friends can do? There's also small details of her name, calling him in the text messages, and playful banter, flirting. To him, he says he thought nothing of it and it was purely a platonic intended connection, but he realized how it could have been seen otherwise. Also, she asked him if he wanted to fly home with her. I was so upset that she crossed that boundary, but too, it also makes me question his judgment of character, as well as how did he describe me to her if she feels comfortable just asking him that. How comfortable did he make her for her feel like she could lay on his shoulder? Thoughts like that. It doesn't help that I went on this girl's social media and find that all she posts about is hopeless romantic posts, and knowing she had space to romanticize my partner while I'm in a relationship with him triggers me, although it's not entirely in his control. It also didn't help that the amount they conversed to me was uncomfortably too much. When he shared with me their messages, it was about 100 screenshots. Though they didn't necessarily say anything romantic, I feel most girls would immediately end a relationship at the initial exchange of contact or messaging, but since I want to choose to trust and forgive him, I didn't. Since we've talked extensively since then about boundaries, I don't fear he would do it again, but I don't think I've fully healed from the event because I never could imagine myself being so inconsiderate of him if I was in his shoes on the plane. I can see how to him, this was a mistake, and he has since then changed and learned, and he may deserve grace from the new unprecedented discoveries of our boundaries as a couple. He is a great person, kind, compassionate, and emotionally intelligent. I don't think the events was a good reflection of character, but I can't seem to just completely let go of it. I want to know if I'm doing too much by continuing to hold resentment and a grudge, or if something is genuinely wrong. How about that one? Let us have your thoughts and advice down in the comments section. Thank you for watching this video. Feel free to check out our other videos, and as always, like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Never forget that your smile is your best feature. Wear it proudly. See ya.